We are live. Welcome to Rice TVX and the latest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. You have tuned in for the latest episode of Crypto Rewind, covering the last week in crypto. I am joined by my co-host, Satoshi Sean, and today's guest is Crypto Blood from CBTV. And as always, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. And before we begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVX, and that would be BitSwap, Dex, Monarch, and Presearch. And Monarch is also a sponsor of Satoshi Sean. Information will be down below in the video description.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
That was extremely weird what happened with that BitSwap Dex. So I'm gonna try to play that again real quick.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode of Crypto Rewind. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Satoshi Sean, who is wearing that awesome turtleneck, and I think he's got a chain. What's going on?
Oh, I do have a chain. Oh, man.
Is it a blockchain or is it a real chain?
Oh, dude. We got to do like a jewelry, line and make them like square chains. Do like blockchain, Bitcoin medallions and shit. That would be lit.
That would be dope. It would be fresh. It would
fresh,
be
fat, and funky.
And rad.
PH.
And rad as well.
Yeah.
Something happened with CB. He was with us, but he popped out. I know he's at the VP section of his favorite local cigar bar. So hopefully he'll be joining back here in just a moment. But how you been since last week, my friend?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How about you?
I've been good, staying busy. Released that interview with Bernard von Nothaus, the creator of the Liberty Dollar. That was pretty cool. And did an interview yesterday with Cliff High that I was going to wait till Monday to upload, but I think we're going to be uploading it tomorrow. And originally it was just going to be on Odyssey. No. But originally I was going to upload it on Odyssey and Library and considered BitChute. And last night I made the decision to I'm going to be uploading it on my backup channel on Rice TVX too. I've had it uploaded as an unlisted video, and I also have it on a third backup channel as an unlisted video for early access on Patreon. And so far there hasn't been any issues with it being flagged. And 100% of everything we say in there goes against everything that YouTube would want to be heard. So and even in the subtitle of the video, I had put in the intro that I had decided to add it to Rice TVX2 as a combination of a test and a sacrificial lamb for free speech.
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea and the goal.
You don't have any strikes over there, do you?
No, I just got a warning, and it's just a backup channel. I only have
a warning on your backup channel already?
Yeah, it was when I got a second strike with the first strike on YouTube in May for my Max Egan interview, the one that just expired. So let me see here. Let's see if so far CB hasn't messaged me or nothing. I want to message him and just make sure everything's kosher.
Yeah.
And everything cool. And I want to let people know we're going to have links down below for the articles that we talk about today. And if you're not already subscribed to Satoshi Sean's channel and Crypto Blood's channel, I definitely encourage you to do so. We got links down below in the video description. And this is Satoshi Sean's channel. He's got some awesome videos. One I got to be watching about his yield farming. And so Crypto Blood's trying to get back on now.
All right, cool.
And then we pulled up CB's channel.
Yeah, everybody's bugging me about doing that. That yield.
Yeah, well, I want to figure it out.
It's easy, man. I'm telling you.
No, I don't see you, CB. Not sure what's going on. He was messaging me.
Love you.
Yeah, so make sure you guys are subscribed over there. Or right now we are live streaming on Rice TVX and Rice TVX 2, the backup channel, the sequel. So if you're subscribed to the main channel, make sure you subscribe to the backup channel. If you're not subscribed to either, make sure you subscribe to both and follow me and everybody else. We're all on Odyssey and Library as well. And that's where I have a full 100% backup of all my videos. So, because I ended up having to delete more than I didn't have to. I chose to delete probably 70% of my content because they were creeping back on old videos and stuff, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, we gotta say hey to everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching. Chris is here. Says he's watched that farming video I did 3 times.
Is that who C Maze? C Maze is Chris?
Yeah, Chris is a C. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to say his full name, but it's short for an Italian name. So
B's Irish. We've been getting a lot of people coming over from BitBoy Crypto since I'm doing the 5 o'clock around the blockchain. Right before we do this.
I gotta get on. I gotta go. They keep asking me about going on there, and I keep just being deluged with stuff. Deluged.
Well, they it's. I mean, it'll help your channel initially with getting getting some some new viewers and subscribers. It's helped me. Now I don't.
Yeah, I know you told me it helped you.
Yeah, I'm not quite getting the effect from it now. I mean, now that I'm kind of like a regular. Yeah. So, but I mean, still, it's cool. It's good. Like I basically you go around the blockchain and have everybody talk about what kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
And then they have right.
I like because you're on it.
So the point system thing, the last 2 Fridays, I ended up somehow last Friday, I said a lot of really smart, cool stuff, but not that I didn't today, but I just really felt like
you nailed it.
I felt like some of the other guys were a lot more on top of it today. And, but I won last Friday and this Friday and just, encouraging people to make sure they're not staying stuck into reading the charts and,
Chris, I am as well. That's very cool that we are both of that national origin. That is neat.
This is the weirdest thing because Blood is trying to get back in, but he apparently can't get back in.
Just send him try send him the link again.
I am. I want to copy it. Copy the link.
Irish Italians like we like to drink, but we can also hold our liquor. So
liquor in the front, poker in the back. I'm trying to look at your screen.
What do you mean, like hack?
No, he's got a thing here where he's trying to like show me where you're something. I would try to restart your computer,
or tell him to try a different browser. That usually works.
Or a different browser. It's weird though. I wonder why it's doing that. He says he's back.
He was fine
when we go back to the screen. Yeah, he's back on. Okay. All right. So here we are. We are joined by the man himself, Crypto Blood of CBTV. What's going on, my friend?
Woo! What's going on, bro?
You made it.
Good to see you, Rice. I don't know what was going on there, man.
Dude, I interviewed Cliff High yesterday, so there's probably gremlins all up in my stuff.
Of course. What did you guys talk about?
Everything that YouTube wouldn't want to be aired.
Man,
so
you gotta be careful with that stuff, bro.
Yeah, well, so it's not going on my main channel. Initially, we were, and I said this at the beginning of the interview, I was going to only put it on Odyssey and Library, and then take some clips.
Yeah,
take some clips, and then tell people to go watch the full video over there. But I decided, since I have my backup channel, and I'm trying to grow the subscribers on that. And it's like 511 subscriber versus what I have on my main channel, which is a little over 21,000. So it's a big gap. So I'm going to release it on my backup channel. I have it unlisted on my backup channel already, and nothing's gotten flagged. And I have the unedited version I put up immediately on my third backup channel.
Nice.
For what I use for Patreon, where I put unlisted videos. And it wasn't flagged in that manner either. But we're talking about, I mean, I can't even talk about what we talked about.
But, I think that's how those alternate platforms are really going to grow, by putting stuff on there, but then also using YouTube. And using YouTube is more of like a advertisement. It's like, hey, look at these little clips. You got to go watch the full thing over there. That's what's going to drive people.
Yeah.
That's what will drive your subscribers. Not just putting it on there and then tweeting about it or whatever, but, you put a video up that you're going to get a bunch of views. And talk about, just go over there. That's going to drive those other platforms because they're just as good, man. There's you're not
they are
like really sacrificing any quality by using a lot of
the only difference, and I don't know how it is, but the only real big difference is like I've done some exclusive live streams on Odyssey and Odyssey, and what I'll end up doing is instead of allowing for the live video replay to go up, I take the recording from StreamYard and replace it because people have a lot of buffering issues. So there's some kinks that haven't been worked out. But if it's just talking about uploading a video and watching a video, yeah, I would agree those platforms are great. But there's definitely, I feel like, a lot of room for improvement.
We all know how you like working your kink.
So how you been, CB? It's been a while since we've talked and caught up. What's been going on with you in the past few months?
Well, I'm managing director of EOS Detroit, which is a block producer, blockchain infrastructure company. So I've been really busy with that, man. So we're continuously looking to improve our infrastructure, add value to the WAX, EOS, Telos, Proton. Telos is going crazy right now. Oh my God.
Is it?
Yeah, it's up, man. Over 100% in the last 2 weeks, week and a half.
Wow.
Maybe even more than that,
150%.
I
should have done some things with them and earned some Telos, but
yeah.
What is InstaBlood? Is that you on Instagram?
Yeah, that's all that is.
Yeah. I like that. That's pretty cool.
And WAX is actually up 150% as well over the last week or so, because I think it popped on the news that Binance was listing them. So it jumped 140% in a day.
Yeah,
WAX is really underrated, man. WAX.
No, it is. It is
underrated.
Ken was bragging about some stuff really hard, and one of his wallets was up to like $500,000 with the value of WAX and the NFTs, and he was bragging about it. And then like within an hour, that 500 went down to like 375. Just that quick, and obviously he's not, it's not like Bitcoin. It's kind of hard to sell your NFTs and reaccumulate them necessarily, because somebody else might scoop them up because the way the NFT system works.
Right.
WAX is really solid, man. I mean, I dabbled in NFTs, but I like this, and Ken was on me forever to, WAX, why aren't you on WAX? What did you build this on Ethereum for? Jeez. But man, when I got on WAX, it's just, I don't know whether it's just so much more simple, it's user friendly. It was, that's when really I got more involved in the entertainment NFTs. Lisa's here. Hey, Lisa, it's good to see you.
Yeah, she had her first happy hour today. She was mentioning. I want to try to go to the New Jersey one. We're going to see about trying to.
Is that Lisa Litecoin? Litecoin?
Yeah,
Lisa?
she's in the chat, Miss Lisa Davis.
Lisa Davis.
So make sure you guys are subscribed to her channel.
Hey, Litecoin Lisa.
She was on with us. Was it last week?
Yeah, last week.
She was on with us last week. So yeah, we're just bringing on different people every Friday at 7 to add in some different points of view.
Her channel is great.
Excellent.
Her interviews are great. She's a super lady. She's
give me a message, Miss Space Cake.
She's actually the Woman of the Year for Oklahoma one year.
Message me on Facebook, Miss Space Cake. We can talk. I'll see if I can help you out. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys, doing this today. Let's kind of dive into some of this news stuff that we got going
into
on.
it.
And Sean started something last week that I thought was really good. Just kind of starting off the news with a really good feel-good piece. Last week we talked about Didi and his family. I cannot pronounce his last name. It's like Tahu or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, CB? That guy Didi, him and his family, they sold all their belongings and bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, the Islander like guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was an article that was out last week where he was, whether it's hardware devices or whatever the situation might be, he was spreading them out in various places around the world. So that no matter where he goes, you'd be able to access.
He has locked out hardware wallets just sprinkled around the world.
Interesting.
No matter how bad like the markets move, he's only a couple hours flight away from each of them.
Wow,
that's
super
cool,
smart.
Cool to say that.
That's some ultra decentralization right there, right?
Yeah. And so this article kind of made me think about like the feel goodness of like what Didi and his family were able to accomplish. He got 2 kids, a 14-year-old boy and his 9-year-old sister in the suburbs of Dallas that are making up to $32,000 a month mining Ethereum, and they're saving the money for education. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
I read
like
the
30
article and I was wondering like what was their overhead. You know, I know it said something about 2,500 in electricity, but it sounded like they had a data center somewhere where they were doing it as well. So it was interesting.
Yeah. I when I first read it thought it was a little. I didn't trust it because we had a Mind Your Business on, and he said you can mine, but mining profits are not huge.
No, they're not.
Well, it says they had the mining rigs in their garage originally, then they expanded and moved them to a data center with air conditioning system downtown Dallas.
Well,
it's a small farm with 30 video cards.
Mind Your Business said that if you have a good gaming computer with a good graphics card and all that, you can mine profitable Ethereum. But then he said, like $30-$50, which that's not, it's cool for you to do, but you have to, with mining, it's it's quantity, so when I read more and that they started out doing that, and then, but they had a lot of stuff you can't get your hands on, like those graphics cards and CPUs. They're tough to get, man. Yeah.
I mean, they definitely, because it mentions which kind of NVIDIAs they have, the 3090, which is a newer card. And they're also, says they have 5 small rigs mining Raven coin as well, which right now, from my understanding, Raven coin has become, I don't know if it's still in the #1 spot, but it was like one of the most profitable coins to mine.
And I'm sure they're rich kids from Plano, and they had, plenty of money to get this started. But yeah, I think it's cool, man. It's one of like those old stories. You remember like 10 years ago or 8 years ago, where this 14-year-old kid's been still, trading Bitcoin, and now he's got $1 billion. So it's more of that, which is cool.
This is, it says the electricity bill rose to $2,500 a month from the $500 average bill in families out there. So $2,500 a month, and then having that amount, it's interesting, but obviously it's a profitable situation with the way they're doing it.
Well, what's also interesting is where they live is like exactly where all these huge mining corporations are moving to, right outside Dallas, Plano.
You should hire these 2 kids to set them up.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is part of like that PR thing.
It sounds good on paper, but 32 a month. I know what our infrastructure does with.
Well, it says up to, and I guarantee you they haven't had too many $30,000 months, but it may have been something they hit.
Probably not. But hey, at the end of the day, it's a feel good story, and the good thing is it's great that kids are getting into blockchain. Would love to see more kids, understand it and even be interested in doing that. So many kids still don't really know much about cryptos. And the ones that do are really just into it for speculation. So it's great to see these kids be on the infrastructure side, which is where I am. Exactly.
Well, they both want to be doctors, and they both want to use this to help pay for their education. So that's cool as hell too.
I was on the World Blockchain Roundtable on Thursday and yesterday, and the real focus between that most of leaders in the space are focusing on are those kids. They think that that's where the real adoption is coming. Junior high and high school kids. That's where it's all going to blow up. When you can, when they can have sovereign money that even if their parents don't understand, it's like a huge thing for them.
Parents just don't understand.
Yeah, parents just don't understand. So they're really focused on that. Like Jeff, I keep thinking Jeff Tate from Queensrÿche. What Divvy Jeff?
Another rainy night. Jeff McCabe.
Jeff McCabe, yeah. So I want to talk about that, especially want to know if Crypto Blood has any inside information on what's going on, because learned a lot about what they're doing in South America, and it's really huge, which I think we're going to hit on with some of the stories we go over. It's kind of intertwined, but Brock Pierce is doing a lot. Well,
it's also it's the end of the year too, and it's a good time to start spending money for tax write-offs as well. So it's a smart move when it comes to what he's doing and the timing of it as well. So
I mean, the infrastructure of what they're working on in South America, this is huge. This is what I thought, and I told you I thought this was going to come from Africa, and they both said it's happening in Africa, but in different ways. But it's happening in South America. I think personally that this is a change in the center of the world. Did we lose Blood again? Dang it!
It looks like it. It sounds. I mean, he locked up a couple times. It seems like maybe where he's at doesn't have the best internet. He's sharing internet with multiple people. It's Friday night. You know, it's either 6:30 or 7:30. People are out, so I'm sure he'll be back. If you haven't smashed that like button, make sure you smash the like button. It helps other people to see this information in the YouTube algorithm flow, and the channels are being heavily shadow banned.
Let's jump. Yeah, I was talking to my son about that today. I'm losing views, man.
Yeah, I got 25 viewers, and normally I would have like double or triple this number at this point in the videos, but it's been
3,700 views on my last video with the farming, and it went down to 31.
Wow!
Like in a few hours.
Blizzard is back. So hopefully he's good. So we'll move on to the SEC stuff. There's two articles that are kind of intertwined, and then like the rest of it kind of intertwines, and that's why I kind of set it up the way I set it up. The SEC employees permitted to trade XRP and Ether? Ripple wants to find out. Ripple wants to determine whether SEC employees had traded XRP before the issuance of the formal investigation order. Really interesting. And then also the SEC, there's been a lot of talk about using analytics firms to monitor the DeFi industry because they want to regulate it because they don't feel that it is decentralized. And I can kind of agree, and I've talked about this a couple times on different shows, different channels, but we can move on. We can start here. I want to make sure. Blood, are you with us?
You have to tell him try to do no video. That might help with his.
Well, so far he has no video turned on.
Well, maybe he should keep it that way and just do audio. It might help him.
Well, he's not muted. He's not muted, so should be able to hopefully hear him if he was. Not sure what's going on, bro.
I think this is interesting for one reason.
Somebody doesn't want us to all talk together.
But one is that, the SEC, they wanted so much information from XRP that was like ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it was ridiculous, the personal information they wanted.
Well, yeah, the Slack thing was a big thing because they wanted the communication from Slack, and then they provided that, but they didn't specify anything in regards to private messages to one another, and
they wanted to know
like that. So they wanted every piece of communication that took place.
Had nothing to do with the case.
Right.
They just wanted personal information.
So XRP.
I think it's funny that they turned it around and they're like, "Hey, we want some information on you guys."
And Ripple wanted to, they wanted to find they wanted to look at the transcript from the hearing where Ethereum was determined to not be a security so that they could compare what was said in their situation because they feel that they're not violating SEC's securities laws. So it's interesting, man. Do you think that ultimately they'll get out of this? You think that?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think they'll end up paying a fine to get out of it, or do you think they'll win?
I think the SEC is going to give up because they're not going to want to deal with this shit. I like how Ripple is just not giving in as we're going on the offensive. It works, man. It works. It almost worked with Cuomo, for God's sake. When it comes to anything with the government, dude, if you wait it out or if you're just loud and fight back, we learned that years and years ago with Clinton. It doesn't matter what you do. If you just fight long enough and hold on, they're not going to do anything. It used to be it was like an unwritten thing. If you screwed up, you bow out. Not anymore. So if they keep fighting, the SEC's going to find them. They'll pay it, and we'll move on.
Yeah, and maybe that's kind of why they're now like going, in a sense, targeting the DeFi industry to kind of show face, to not look like such idiots, because they're going to have to, bow down when it comes to this Ripple case. So when it comes to the DeFi stuff, I don't know how you think about this, but I mean, I was talking about it it may have been last week's Around the Blockchain, but it was like, what is decentralization? Because just having your coin and your nodes, your miners, your network being distributed, that could make your blockchain decentralized. But then you could have a centralized group of people who are controlling what happens to the coin, where you mean
like a foundation kind of thing.
Yeah, where the community does, like, it's not voted on by the community. There's a few select people that get to choose the fate of said coin. And that's not decentralization.
You really should have Crypto Blood back on and talk about EOS.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, hopefully he comes back on.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, because I learned a lot of stuff about what Pierce is doing. A lot of the inside shit.
He's moving locations, so maybe it's the internet where he's at.
All right, what do we got next? MetaMask coin?
Well, I mean,
that's going to be huge.
We can come back and talk, but I mean, what are your thoughts about these DeFi projects actually being decentralized, like Pancake Swap and things? Like, are they decentralized, or really are they centralized and it's controlled by a few people? So, I mean, that's something to really.
I would say they're decentralized. Now, when you look at their token, like Cake or Ape Swap and Bananas, or Immunity Swap and Vital.
Or even, when we can talk about Uniswap and their coin.
And but it is basically just peer-to-peer, swapping. And then if you look at the farming, providing liquidity,
So the exchanges don't make anything off any of the trading fees? Yeah, that all goes to miners? So I'm saying it seems like there's like, what's the difference in between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange? And does that apply to these liquidity dexes?
You hold your own keys is the biggest thing. So the exchange can't really be hacked. It's because it's a bunch of individuals connecting their individual wallets. So you own your own keys. And if you are providing the liquidity, you're not providing you still have your own crypto, you still own your own keys. You're not putting your crypto on there to farm. You're creating a liquidity token.
This is a good point. If anyone if Pancake Swap can delist or block tokens, it's no longer decentralized. Thoughts on that?
And well, also another thing about
and then DeFi, Reggie Middleton saying Uniswap is centralized because they had to unlist Veritasium. So again, are they really decentralized? Does the SEC make a point? I don't agree with regulation. I don't like the SEC, but is their point valid?
True, because you could, in the beginning, you could just list, and no.
A true dex would just be like
I'll tell you why. Because
anybody could list anything as long as there's somebody to purchase it on the other end.
They're not. Well, you know, when they delisted it, that is that put a fly in the ointment, because if you could look at it as a service, anyone can list on PancakeSwap. Anyone can list, but you have to import. Then you have to you have to like click on yes, I understand that this is not approved. That PancakeSwap didn't do this. That this is not put on by Uniswap. It's a rogue token.
Can they remove it though? Can they decide?
That's the thing. If they removed it, that's what messed it up. Because you could have a listed coin, and that is basically, we vetted this. You know, we looked into this. The product, the token is good. The team is good. We have approved this to go on there. It's a service, kind of like an audit, that so that you can trust this token. But then to be able to remove it, that's not just a service. That is control. So it's a gray area.
Right. And that's where I want people to think, and really kind of like, what is decentralization? What and how does decentralization apply when you're trying to say a project is decentralized? Because in my mind, no one should have control.
Yeah.
And if someone has control,
yeah,
it's
like
not
when you
decentralized. It's really simple in that.
About Matic having admin keys last week. Dude, that bothered. I told Lee. He was like, fuck yeah. I was like, they could go into anyone's wallet and take their money. It's like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Now, here's what I'm starting to learn, though. A lot of projects had these admin keys. Now, there's a couple different situations. Like I had mentioned, you can multi-sig them. You can give some of the multi-sig to the community and some to the foundation or somebody in a group, however that may work. And then you have situations where you can actually burn the motherfuckers.
Well, but see, whenever they do have them, and I've been connected on projects where I have found out, and I've called them out, and I'm like, you're a bunch of pieces of shit. I mean, I've lost it in meetings, and it's always, well, this is just temporary till we get to be fully decentralized, and then we'll get rid of this. But I'm like you, it has to be fully transparent.
You give somebody an inch, they're going to take a foot.
Yeah, and also,
you have the ring of power, and now you're going to take it off.
Yeah, power corrupts, dude. It's like, well, we'll just hold on to this because you never know, and we're good people. We can handle this.
Yeah,
but it is. I don't like them. I really don't. And if it is for a certain period of time, it needs to be completely transparent, so everyone knows that you have them, and everyone knows when it stops. Yeah. And if you don't want to invest or you don't want to put into that until that's gone, then that should be you should have the information, and people should be transparent enough to give you that information so that you can make the decision when you're going to put into it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's a philosophical question, but it's like, I don't want to give people the wrong impression about what things are if I'm learning more information that I feel like I should be sharing. And, we should all be making each other aware of all these different things that could ultimately cause harm when it comes down to it. Yeah. And like I was saying last week, I own Matic. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm trying to crap on the project.
I've traded it. Yeah,
I'm not trying to like FUD it, none of that stuff. I just want people to be aware of reality.
And don't be scared, dude. Don't be a pussy. Because they have a big community and they got people that are crazy. Because Divvy is the same way, dude. You can go into Divvy and say, hey, this is a legitimate question. And they'll be like, fuck you, hope you die.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's like you're a fudder. I'm like, no, man, that's if something's a legitimate question or it's a legitimate concern, it's not FUD. That's information, dude.
Right.
This cancel culture bullshit is seeping into this. It's a legitimate thing. And I've done videos, man, where I'm like, I like everything, but I looked here on the team's, LinkedIn's, and they don't have the project listed. I said, but the team is transparent, and they're like, say that they're involved in it, they're involved in the community, so it's not like they're fake. But then people in the community are like, hey, he makes a good point. Why aren't you guys, why didn't you have this listed? You're the CEO. You're the founder. You're the,
Are you ashamed to have this publicly?
And usually,
publicly?
Usually it's because they work for a company, and this is a side project that they're trying to do. And if they found out, you'd be like, hey man, what are you putting all this effort into this side project for? We hire you, we pay you. You know, they could get literally like in trouble. That's 99% of the time what it is. And they explain it. And, you know, I'm like, that's what I thought it was. And it's not a big deal. But there's other communities where if you say anything, not even say anything, if you question something that looks odd to you, you're attacked.
Yeah.
Viciously, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel you. And I mean, I've had situations where I've had to deal with it. So, hopefully Blood will be back on soon. We can move on and talk about the Cuba stuff. And also, we can always, if he gets back on, just let him share his thoughts on the various articles and stuff.
We're over halfway through, man.
Yeah, and we can, if he's cool, and I can go a little bit longer if need be.
You know, we always have other shows next week. You can come back. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, if that's the case, we'll figure it out.
Here's the thing, man. With this, so I think this is a big deal because, and man, I'm going to get real philosophical here, man.
Well, do you think it's ironic at all, though, that you have a communist country that essentially could be legalizing Bitcoin as legal tender?
That is ironic.
It makes sense.
But I think that the center of the world is changing. I think this is a fundamental, like, huge historic thing where it was Rome, you know, it was the Persian Empire, it was Europe, it's the United States. I think that we're looking at in our lifetime South America to be the center of the world power, economic, tech, maybe military, which is going to go because so much of military is now tech and economic. Because what's going on, what El Salvador started, and their president he's a brilliant guy. What he started with making Bitcoin legal tender, pushing it, now giving it to every citizen.
Right, but I mean, are you looking into at all with the situation and seeing that the majority of people aren't really necessarily happy with this, and then also the idea that people could be spending something like buying a cup of coffee or food to eat, that what they're using to pay in a few months might be worth 5 times the amount it could have been. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
People are happy about it, and it has started this huge ripple effect. So Pierce went over there. Pierce, McCabe, a bunch of leaders in the industry. They're requesting
to El Salvador.
To El Salvador, right?
Right.
They've been there for about 10 days or 2 weeks. But they had a bunch of meetings. But after that, like I think it's like 15 countries in South America. They have a group chat now, like with the presidents of these companies or countries, and Pierce. They have a group chat. Everybody wants them to come to their country and to help set up crypto, not just Bitcoin.
Right.
But we're talking full crypto, Divi, and other ones. And they were trying to get Joe to go down there with the Rotes, with Dragon Chain, and because they see, and we could talk about the speech Ted Cruz gave. They can see and get across that the entrepreneurship and the business side of blockchain and crypto, and how it's trillions of dollars in the next few years of money being pumped in to businesses that utilize it, that jump on to the new way of doing things.
While we're trying to get Blood to connect here, can you see this?
Yeah.
I want to start playing this. Tell me if you can hear it.
Bismarck said
yes
years ago that there are 2 things you don't want to see being made: sausage and legislation. And when it comes to particularly ugly legislation, this component, the regulation of cryptocurrency, may take the prize for the ugliest we have seen. Moments from now, I expect that we are going to see objections to this compromise amendment that was negotiated. If we do in fact see objections, and if the underlying language in this bill goes into effect, it will have devastating effects. There is a new and exciting industry in the United States of cryptocurrency, whether Bitcoin or otherwise, that are generating jobs, entrepreneurs who are creating new values, new hedges against inflation, new opportunities, and it is fast moving. It is dynamic. And this infrastructure bill, a bill being sold to the American people is let's build some roads and bridges, as one little portion in there designed to obliterate cryptocurrency. Now, I fully understand that there's some bureaucrats at the Treasury Department have never seen anything they don't want to regulate the life out of. But if the underlying language in this so-called infrastructure bill becomes law, we will be destroying billions of dollars worth of industry in the United States. We will be destroying jobs in the United States. Many of those jobs are in my home state of Texas. And we will be sending them overseas. Listen, it isn't complicated. Cryptocurrency isn't tied to any particular piece of dirt. So the grand efforts of the United States Senate will be to say, we don't want those jobs in America. We don't want those resources in America. Go somewhere else. The ugly truth with which Bismarck understood, and which is particularly true on cryptocurrency, there aren't 5 senators in this body with any real understanding of how cryptocurrency operates. We have had no hearings on this. The Senate has had no hearings on this. The House, as far as I know, has had no hearings of this. And yet, this body is prepared to obliterate an industry willy-nilly. Or for that matter, the compromise, and listen, the compromise that was put forward would be a meaningful improvement, would do much, much less damage. But even the compromise would essentially kick the can down the road and allow bureaucrats at Treasury to do massive damage. And the bureaucrats at Treasury don't understand this any better than does the United States Senate. The right outcome, I think, is an amendment I introduced. Strike the whole damn thing. If we want to legislate on this, actually do our jobs. Be a deliberative body, hold hearings, listen to witnesses, understand the consequences, know what we're doing. That would be the reasonable, rational thing to do. Don't just put out a rule of massive taxes and regulations with no understanding of the consequences and jobs and real people that would be hurt. For whatever reason, the Senate doesn't seem to want to behave reasonably or rationally. And I think the consequences are going to be long-standing of this foolish legislation. I think Senator Toomey and Senator Lummis have worked hard on a compromise to brunt the worst aspects of this legislation. And so I hope the proposal they've put forward, or about to put forward, is adopted. But if it is not, I'm going to predict that every one of the 100 senators here is going to come to regret that this body took a part in destroying jobs and a budding industry that will provide billions of dollars of new opportunity. And if the Senate keeps on this course, we're going to send it instead overseas to our competitors. That would be a tragic mistake. Thank you.
Okay, so first, CB message. He was trying to tether off of his phone, and he's just having issues. So I said he's more than welcome to come on next week, and he said he's down for next week. Be back in the studio. So Crypto Blood is not going to be joining us for the remainder of the show, but he will be back next week. So stay tuned for that. But also, in the meantime, make sure that if you're not subscribed to his channel, go check it out. Links are down below. Make sure you subscribe to Satoshi Sean's channel and both of my channels on YouTube. And we're all on Odyssey and Library, so follow us there as well. Yeah, so the Cuba stuff, my thoughts are, when you look into this, I didn't even know specifics about this, but Donald Trump had some legislation that was preventing US dollars from being able to be deposited into bank accounts in Cuba. So this is a way for them to get around regulations, and it's also a way for them to get around sanctions, to get around the US dollar. Whether or not the ideological direction of a country or nation is communist or not, that doesn't really come into play when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because even from a communist standpoint, you would think that from a communist socialist standpoint, they would want something like Bitcoin because they can track and trace everything. Because Bitcoin is pseudo anonymous, meaning that they can identify your public address with your IP or something to that effect. They tag they know who you are, and they can follow everything that takes place because it's all on an open ledger. You don't just trust it, you can verify it. And that's verification goes into the tracking and tracing with the chain analysis. Now, the Ted Cruz stuff is pretty like, if I had one word to say, it would be wow, especially from him.
It's just good to hear that like someone there gets it.
Makes sense. What I mean? Yeah.
Just like, oh, thank God. You understand. You understand that just we're literally, speaking as Americans, just giving up the, jobs, money. But for them, I mean, this is a perfect example of what it's about. Like the masks come and say they don't protect you from a virus. It says it. So why push it? Just for control. And you're looking at this, it's like, this is so good for our country. This is so good for us as crappy tax collectors, as thieves. We can steal so much more money in tax revenue from people. And the only reason to give it up is just to keep that little semblance of control for a little longer. It's so black and white. And to hear it, I'm glad someone could put it in those black and white terms to where it's just, you're shooting your own foot off if you don't embrace this tech. We're hurting the country, we're hurting ourselves, we're hurting our citizens, just so that a few people can maintain a little bit of control.
Even if it didn't come down to the control issue, it just came down to the fact that these old dudes, old ladies don't seem to understand the technology, and there's a digital gap and a divide there. Nobody really understands how the internet works, or how, I'm not saying nobody, because there are obviously people who built these things understand how it works, but the everyday person, including myself, don't necessarily know how the internet works and how email works, but I still utilize the technology. And it's really unfair for a bunch of old guys and gals and theys and thems and P's and Q's and R's to not stifle future generations that could benefit from this because they don't understand it.
And I think it's good that he made that point. There's like 5 people in all of Congress that understand this. He goes, but we're not doing anything to understand it. We're not having any kind of, meetings. We're not having any kind of reviews. We're not.
There are lobbying groups that are trying to educate. So we just need to support those people, more possible.
We've made this point. The money and the lobbyists are maximalists.
We're familiar with Hex. Richard Hart will be on the show again soon, and maybe some other people from the Hex community. We'll be talking about Pulse as well.
Hex? So. What's that?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of it.
Nobody talks about that.
First time watching the show, just watched you on Around the Blockchain. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Since you're just now tuning in, check out Satoshi Sean's channel as well. Links are down below in the video description. Okay, brother, let's go
on to the next.
I didn't even really want to spend a lot of time on this. I just wanted to make people aware of the fact that if you're a MetaMask user, they are planning on doing an airdrop of their own token.
So cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what the Uniswap airdrop did for people.
Right, but how is this going to work utility-wise?
We don't know. We don't know what MetaMask is planning to do. MetaMask could basically have a DEX built into their wallet.
They do. Oh, they do.
Yeah, and that could be what they call a governance token.
They do. Okay. Yeah, because a lot of times, because it's like because we're talking about basically if something is approved on Uniswap or Pancake or somewhere, that it's easier to trade. But if not, you've got to get the contract number. You've got to do a bunch of crap. It's a lot
And
more
you can
difficult.
also
You can just
play.
go in your MetaMask wallet and hit swap, and it'll run through. It'll everything the dexes that it's connected to that have it. It'll get you a good deal. It's a lot easier.
Games, dApps, you can store ETH and custom ERC20 tokens and collectibles and connect to a ledger. And
It's another way you could pay for NFTs too.
so
That is, yeah.
It doesn't really specifically say how they're going to be doing it, but I'm going to assume that if you've used MetaMask and you have a MetaMask wallet and you've used it, you're probably going to receive something. I don't know if it's going to be equal, like kind of what Uni did, where it was just like 1,200 or something like that tokens. I can't remember the exact number.
But that's another thing that Bozak made this amazing point. It was because we did a show like the day of they did the airdrop, and he was like, dude, my Uniswap just gave me $1,250
The same as the
worth of tokens.
stimulus check.
That's more. Yeah, it said it's more than my government gave me. They gave me $1,200, and this is worth $1,250 or something like that. But it was more. He's like, fucking Uniswap gave me more money during the pandemic than my own government did, and that was like a huge thing to me, man. It was like a wake up call just to see just another thing.
Governance tokens, governance. Look at all the other platforms. This allows for the community to be able to participate in choosing some of the future of what takes place. And it also is another way of looking out for the community and kind of get, times are tough. So if people can get some funds in various manners and it takes place in forms of airdrops, then so be it.
Yeah, I think it's cool, man.
L Davis 12312. This is something that Ben over at BitBoy Crypto has mentioned several times. Watch last week's episode of Crypto Rewind. Basically, what it boils down to is projects, especially ERC20 projects that are building on the Ethereum blockchain, potentially could have admin keys that give them complete control of the project. They could resend tokens, take tokens out of people's wallets, and all sorts of different things with this. So I'm not spreading FUD. I'm just making people aware that these things exist. So in Matic's case, they have possession of their admin keys. It would be more prudent for them to multi-sig it or burn them, which some projects have done. So just, make sure you're doing your research on these projects and looking into this, because ultimately, if you put all your money in Matic, and Matic so chose, or one person on the team who got upset that has access to those admin keys could very well do some malicious activity that could be harmful. So people just need to be aware of those things. That's all I wanted to explain. They can also put them in your wallet too. You don't have to just pull them out. They can put them in your wallet. So it'd be nice if they just airdropped everybody some more Momatic.
Mo money.
Momatic. Oh, so I was on around the blockchain today. There's a guy named Blockchain Boy, who I've renamed Hologram Boy, but Blockchain Boy is a TikToker, kind of like what Ben does with BitBoy Crypto. And yeah, apparently they're having issues. It's not all crypto. I think he said that NFT stuff is fine. And so he's been doing a lot of NFT related content on TikTok. I tried. I don't like TikTok, and I'm not going to participate.
Yeah, Ben was on me forever, and I just be like, dude, I'm not a 12-year-old girl. I'm not going to do it. Me and Jay Chains both were just like, no, dude, not
right.
And but he's like, dude, and then he's done super good, well there. He was like up to like number 6, like 60th TikToker in the world.
Right, but not many people in our space have even been able to break it. So it's like what works for what we do doesn't necessarily work for TikTok either. So
Wendy O was like in Forbes or whoever. I mean, she had a huge article.
Was she?
Yeah, as like just because of her TikTok shit.
Wow, that's cool.
It was like it was a big deal. So I mean, and to be fair, Ben Bitboy did not use his TikTok for crypto. He got big doing sports crap. And then he's like,
And
oh,
the CEO of Facts stuff.
Yeah, CEO of Facts. He's like, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to
And he was doing,
he did.
yeah.
He did. He had a plan and it worked. But I don't know. TikTok's just not for me.
The big thing, though, that I wanted to point out and not spend a lot of time on it is just that, to pull up the article, it says TikTok recently rolled out a system that automatically removes content that violates community guidelines. And it says many creators are now considering a shift to Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube and Discord if TikTok continues. But it's like the same shit's happening on those platforms. So what the hell do you think you're getting away from? For one,
also, it's not.
But it shows that these companies, these social media companies, are putting AI in charge of their systems, which are still learning and not doing a very good job. Because I mean, a great example I'll give you, Sean, is when in this past July, when I got my second strike and they hit me for 12 videos and I won the appeal on 2. Some of those videos that they removed that I did not win the appeal on, that gave me a second strike that would not allow me to post for 14 days, were on another channel. And we're not taking off that other channel.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not the video, because if it was the video, the video should have been
put out a video. Berwick put out a video. It was on, forget what it was on, maybe 5G. It was some like super conspiracy thing. And he's like, copy this video and put it on your channel, share it, put it out there, do it. I don't care. Get this information out. So I literally copied his video. I did an intro and then I put it on there. And they hit me with a strike. They took it down, but they left his up. So it's like the original video was fine, but my video, which was just an intro, and then it didn't make sense.
I remember when you put that out. So yeah, I mean, and I've had the same thing happen with my videos, where me, Stan, and Pimpy will be having the same video on 3 different channels, and one channel gets affected. So in that sense, it's not the video, it's the channel. And it's sad, you know, but I'm keeping notation and record of all these things. I'm also becoming a legitimate time traveler. And what I mean by that is I pre-recorded 2 videos today, because I have learned, after having these experiences happen on several occasions, if you have a video that's on YouTube that's uploaded and unlisted or private, and you get a strike, you can make that video public. So you can actually release content. You can't upload it, but you can release content if it's already on there. I've had this happen. So I've got 2 videos that I've got
chambered.
Yeah. Where I time traveled into the past so I can give myself and subscribers a message in the future. Mm-hmm. One of them, I just straight up took some black masking tape and covered my face with an X on my mouth and just didn't say anything. Just like for 4 minutes, I had some music playing on the video, but for 4 minutes. Originally, I was going to use Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner from Woodstock. But then
that's a good one, yeah. Depending on the music, it could look like some kind of weird fetish shit. But yeah, that would be good. You get the message across with that.
Yeah, but they said that it would be blocked in countries because of it being copyrighted. Yeah. And what's weird about that is I didn't think you could copyright the Star Spangled Banner, because it's an old song.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it's obvious.
So I didn't understand. That's why I was trying to do it, but it would have blocked the video, and it may have even blocked it in the United States. So I don't know how that was going to work out.
That's a real good point, man, because it's I mean, it's definitely public domain. Because
Jimi Hendrix was allowed to play it.
You can play
Jimi Hendrix doesn't own the rights to it.
That's not, you can't.
Right.
He's not going to come out and say, "Hey, it's my song."
So
Das Bro.
It's crazy though, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. So hopefully, YouTube hasn't changed that, and they haven't called on to that trick, but they're sitting on deck. So because I've decided. I don't know if I was saying it while we were recording or before we started going live, or the Cliff High video I'm going to release tomorrow. And I was going to just put it on Odyssey and Library. I'm going to add it probably to BitChute. It'll be my second video on BitChute. And I've already uploaded it to my second, to Rice TVX, to the backup channel. The edited version is up there. It's been up there since last night, so 24 hours. And the unedited version, as soon as I got done doing it, I uploaded on my third backup channel, unlisted, and haven't had any issues. But like I said, everything that we cover in there is like everything that would like destroy my channel. So I added a subtitle just saying that I decided to upload it to Rice TVX2 as a test and as a sacrificial lamb for free speech. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
Okay. I'd like to.
Let's get ready to wrap this thing up. You got any final thoughts or anything you want to add? Any videos that you did you want to tell people to watch? Any of that good stuff?
Yeah, Phil. When it comes to Cruz, when it comes to like constitutional issues, he's always on the right side. All right, maybe that's why people hate him and there's so much like negative press on him.
I was on. It said talking with Berwin's Taco, but that's not what it says.
It was on World Blockchain is on Thursday on Dragon Chain, which is I don't know why I'm on that. I mean, I really don't. Just I always say I'm the pretty funny one, but everyone on there's like really, really smart, like and like industry leaders. They're it's always like the head of library, head of Dragon Chain, got guys from Rivet, and they're so but they're so nice. I mean, they're like, yeah, I was going to be I was going to go into like biology, what is it, gene mapping and this, but I decided to do software, and they're so freaking smart, but they like think everyone else is as smart as them. So many times I'm talking to like Joe Rhodes, and he's like talking about shit that I have no clue. And he's just like, with this, I was like, yeah. And they're like, hey, did you used to make AIs for fun with this one old program? You remember this one? And I did that. Sure. Yeah. But anyway, very, very cool show. And I usually do push it in the direction of like red pill stuff, man, which is kind of fun because a lot of them have a lot of insight into stuff like Rhodes. Rhodes was there at the beginning with like Satoshi and shit. But he was Joe Rhodes. He was there at the beginning, but he couldn't be that involved because he had worked for the government, had like all these top secret clearances. They were watching him, so he couldn't talk that much or be that involved with that group. But he's a brilliant dude and knows a lot of stuff about that, and also a lot of stuff that people aren't supposed to know about. I did an interview with him, and it was the greatest interview of all time. And I forgot
greatest interview of all time.
Yes, and I forgot to hit the record button.
So did you do a tribute to the greatest interview of all time?
Yeah, I did. That was the actual interview. I didn't hit record.
Did you catch where the reference was going?
Yes, that's to Tenacious D. Yes.
Okay.
It's just a tribute. Okay, so, but I'm doing the interview, and I'm like, oh my god, this is freaking amazing. And he's letting loose, dude. He's telling me about stuff that he should not be talking about. And then I look, and I was like, oh my god,
we're not recording.
The record button. And he was like, oh, thank God. I was like, why am I talking about this? I shouldn't be talking about this. There's no way. I'm not supposed to. And then we went through a regular interview, and it was still good. But man, I always tell him and say the world is the
world is a vampire.
The world is a vampire. You ever seen that meme?
Drain?
You ever seen that meme where there's a rat in a cage, and he's like holding the bars, and it's like someone's pet rat, but it says "despite all my rage" like in a post-it underneath him.
That is hilarious.
That Lisa Davis with Like When Lisa is every other Tuesday. Where do we do a show over there? Check out my channel, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter and Instagrams and all that stuff. That's about it, man. Word up. Well, I appreciate you as always.
letting everybody know. I really want people to go check out that Bernard von Nothaus interview. It might look like it reads Bernard von Nothaus, but the correct German pronunciation is Bernard von Nothaus. He is
I really enjoy hearing you say that name.
He's cool as hell, though, man. 78-year-old dude. He back in 98. I think is when it was released the Liberty Dollar, which is a private alternative gold-backed, silver-backed currency. And then
that's something we wanted to hit on was a last story we didn't talk about. But it's silver because we both have our codes. You go to moneymetals.com, you use code Sean or code Rice, you get a free silver if you spend $100 in your first time. But he said that silver is 50% below its all-time high. And what is it that gold? It everything's poised, like the that's the word. It looks like Bitcoin, gold, and silver, but silver specifically, silver and Bitcoin are like sitting on the launch pad, man.
Yeah, but I thought the article said that $50,000 Bitcoin is not good for mom and pops, like your everyday investor. I've always told people silver is completely undervalued, and silver is going to be one of the best long-term bets that you can do aside from cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And in some cases of crypto, it'll outperform certain coins. In the case of a Bitcoin over a 5-year period, I think that Bitcoin will outperform silver. But
I made the point that we're not in the infancy stage anymore. I mean, I know people don't want to hear that, but with as much, we're in the mainstream. We have institutional money. Bitcoin is at 50 grand. We're not in the infancy. You're not in the below the ground floor. We're not still so early. It's over.
Still, you're so early.
I'm sorry, it's over, dude. But we're still. I mean, Bitcoin goes to.
If I would encourage people, I mean, unless you want a dollar cost average to start buying now, I would just tell people to wait till we start seeing the all-time high and a blow off top, and then start your dollar cost average. Like right now is not the time to start getting into the game.
Yeah.
Can you make money if you play things smart? Yes, but ultimately
compared to regular legacy investments, but you're not. I mean, we're used to like 1,000%. If you look at Bitcoin 2 years ago, or I mean, it's 10x in what, like 18 months. I mean, that's what we're used to. That stuff is in the past. I think it is. We're 10x, yes, over years, but not 18 months. We're not going to 1.5 million in 18 months. It's not going to happen.
I love this, man. I'm in love with this.
Yeah, I know.
I watched Fifth Element on mushrooms one day.
I watched all the Porkies.
On mushrooms?
No. Dude, those movies, they're very different to watch as an adult. They are very different to watch as an adult. They're actually good movies. When I was a kid, it was like, oh, boobies and hijinks, man. But they're very different movies as an adult.
Right. I agree. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you, brother. I do want to remind people that tomorrow, Saturday the 28th at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be going live with Stan from Bodhisattva Love for an episode of Rise and Stand with Rice and Stan. And then Sunday, the 29th at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time, episode 12 of The Spirituality of Law with Ethan Lucas. This should be out tomorrow on Rice TV X2, Odyssey and Library, and possibly BitChute. And just a quick preview. So it was like a hostage situation for us, like a quick second.
Oh, also, I'm going to be doing a show
this happened last night.
Hopefully with Kiffs from the Arctic Circle. He's up there in the Arctic Circle. He thinks he has decent enough Wi-Fi for us to stream. Yeah.
He's in the Arctic Circle?
Yeah.
Like in Alaska or in where? Finland?
Yeah, in the Arctic. Yeah, up there in the.
He's up there. Okay, cool.
The high north of Lapland.
Yeah, maybe we can invite him on for when I get back from my family vacation thing happening. I'll be back on the 11th. So we're gonna do next week, and then the week after we're gonna take off.
All right.
People can check this out though. This was an uncensored rice bowl happy hour. I want to start naming all of my round tables rice bowls because it makes sense. It's like
look at all the dicks. Eric Sullivan, Tom Patterman, and Chris Rice. Bunch of dicks. Big bag of dicks.
So we should have cut it the uncensored big bag of dicks show.
Freaking Sean there. Come on.
Well, I thought about getting you in on one of these. For sure. I mean, we've done them, but I mean, shit, you're on my channel every week.
Yeah, but it's like the four of us are super buddies, man.
Super buddies.
We're super buddies. I think I have you all in my phone as super buddies.
Really? Like I'm listed as super buddy?
Yeah, it's Crypto Rice Super Buddy.
Crypto Rice Super Buddy.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like you. I like everybody. I appreciate everybody for watching. Let's see what the last few comments are here. Andy Lee, you have yourself a wonderful weekend as well. Miss Space Cake, I look forward to talking to you. L Davis 12312 Rice love Fifth Element. I was laughing my ass off on Around the Blockchain. The pick is epic. Somebody designed that who was watching. I appreciate them. And yeah, I would tell everybody, if you haven't seen the Fifth Element, go watch it this weekend. And if you have seen it, watch it again and just take the messages from the movie to heart and start being that change you want to see in this world. Sean, hold on for me a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff. And we're out.